On this week's episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan finds a cursed sword and Tony takes to the skies. We also watch some of the biggest trailers from this week's Gamescom announcements. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's up, sir?
Just a little jet lagged right now.
Are you? Really?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we had a good flight.
We did, right before the show, had a really good flight. So an unexpected flight as well. A little bit of an unexpected flight, but we did have a little bit of trouble at the end, though. So, crashing through the trees, not a good way to end a flight, really. But
I blame the pilot myself.
We walked away from the crash, and it wasn't a crash, really. I was already on the ground. I just drove into some trees while I was pretending to drive down Route 66. So... We're fine. We walked away from we landed perfectly fine. That was okay. We just crashed into the trees while we were goofing off afterwards. So
he says I'm just along for the ride.
That means you're technically part of the crash.
I'm just telling you what I'm telling the insurance company.
So it would go down as my fault, and I would be at fault, and
I'm sure that tree would want your insurance to pay for the damages.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. That tree looked like a jerk, really, though. He probably deserved it. But, that's not my job to determine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were playing a little bit of Flight Simulator, testing out some streaming stuff, because I've been having issues with audio on my streams this week. We think we've got that figured out, so the next few streams that I do and videos of Flight Simulator that go up to YouTube should be fine. We'll see. And I guess we can just move right into that. That is what I've been playing the most this week, is I've just been doing more Flight Simulator stuff. The videos that I've done have been pretty successful, I guess, for us over the last week. It seems like we've gotten a lot of interest from people wanting to see Flight Simulator in action. And I think part of it comes from the fact that I've been going to places that most people, I think, at least most people who are doing video content for Flight Simulator haven't, because it's been like in the middle of Oklahoma, the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, in one instance. I'm
guessing most people are going like to popular places, and here you are flying around rural areas.
Yeah, and so I've gotten a lot of requests from people in those rural places to fly over their towns, and so that's what I've been doing this week, and it's been pretty popular for the most part. So ran into a couple of issues as usual with the mapping of the game, with like more stuff like buildings in the middle of football fields, and I guess we noticed today that the water towers in some places are just not there. And I hadn't really been looking for water towers, so it wasn't something that I was aware of.
I mean, you should be able. You've flown over Pampa a couple of times, so I'm sure you may or may not have noticed the big green water tower there.
I mean, yeah, I've flown over there. I never was looking for water towers, so it wasn't like, there's not a water tower here. What is wrong? Something just doesn't look right, and it's because the water tower is not there. But that was one of the first things that you noticed while we were flying over.
Well, it's usually when I'm driving back from Oklahoma or something. It's like I can see the town in the distance. It's like there's the water tower. There's some buildings you can see, especially from where you're at the airport there. So yeah. it was kind of throwing me off. Even though we're flying and we're at a higher altitude, it still should have been visible, but it wasn't.
Yeah. So one thing I did find out this week, and I'm going to have to use this to put some things to the test, is that I figured out finally how to Like if I want to go to a specific spot on the globe, you can put the GPS coordinates into the game.
Hmm.
I had tried that once and it didn't work, so maybe I didn't format them correctly, and that's why it couldn't find what I was looking for. Um, so there are a couple things that I want to go do. Like I want to go find the world's tallest statue, which is over in Asia somewhere, um, and see that and see what that looks like on the map. Because I don't think that's something that's been hand done, so it would have to be something that's had like 3D grammetry
Hmm.
done.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just going to look really weird, and I want to
Right.
see what something like that looks like. So, um, been having a lot of fun picking some different planes. Uh, one of the flights that I had done was around Oklahoma, so it was places that I've been, but I picked a plane that was faster than some of the planes that I've been using because I wanted to do a longer flight, and ended up going to 3 or 4 different places in Oklahoma on one flight, which was a lot of fun. Um, I tried my hand again at flying some of the big passenger jets, and just that's not a good idea. Um, Mainly because I don't know how to land them. So
It takes practice.
it is a lot different to land a jumbo jet than a Cessna. So I can land a Cessna, even if it's a little rough. I can get the plane safely on the ground. Cannot do that with a 747 or an A320. It's not possible. I can get it up to 30, 40,000 feet and fly from Tulsa to Dallas, but I can't get you on the ground when I get to Dallas, and that's a problem. So um, that's kind of one of the things I wish that the game would add is more tutorials for different planes. Because while a lot of them are similar, there's a lot that flying those planes is very different from the other ones. And so even if you go through the tutorial, which puts you through the tutorial for the Cessna is really good. It's really long. It's like eight lessons long, and it really does teach you everything you need to know about getting the plane ready, getting it up in the air, getting it back on the ground, and getting where you want to go.
Hmm.
So I would love for them to do a lengthy tutorial on like the A320, so that if you do want to fly one of those planes and you're not used to flying those planes, that you can get the plane up in the air and get it back down on the ground yourself. So, because I mean, there are settings in there that if you want to, you can set it up so that it will do the takeoff and landing for you. But for a lot of people, that's not why they're playing the flight simulator stuff. They want to actually do those things. So it would be nice to see some lengthier tutorials. I know they've got lots of updates planned. I'm sure they're getting all kinds of bug reports, and this is wrong, and this part of the map is not the way it's supposed to be,
Like
and
the carrier that we tried to land
yeah,
on.
yeah, that was really I was really surprised about that. The aircraft carrier that we tried to land on last week, down in Texas, that had just had plants growing through it, which I thought was a little strange. I figured something like that would probably display properly, but it didn't. So
Yeah, it
it's
was
it's
very
interesting.
weird.
So this week I'm going to do a stream where I find some things that are just landmarks in the world that I really want to see, like the world's largest statue, or flying around Hoover Dam or something like that. So I'm going to do a video that has some of those big landmarks that people have been showing, but then I'm also going to continue to find those places that are just in the middle of nowhere that people want to see. Small hometowns, uh, tiny little, you know, middle of nowhere places that most of the people that are making videos of aren't going to go to or haven't gone to, because I think a lot of people would be really interested in those smaller places that are just really nice to fly around and really pretty to see, but don't get you know a lot of the recognition that the Chicago's and the New Yorks and the Christ the Redeemer statues of the world get. So but that's what I've been doing, and I see myself playing this game a whole lot more in the future. So um,
Yeah, it
I've
seems
been
like
having
you've been really enjoying that game.
I've been having a ton of fun with it, and uh, my streams have been pretty regular, and I've actually gotten some pretty good views on the streams. Not only the YouTube videos, but I'm having a few people here and there pop into the streams and hang out for a while we fly. So I've been really enjoying that. And Flight Simulator was not the game that I thought would get me to do stuff like that, but that's exactly what's happened. So as long as people keep wanting me to fly to places that I've never been to, I'm gonna do it. So, but that is what I have been doing this week. What about you? What have you been playing?
I have been playing Minute.
Okay. This
You,
is on Game Pass, right?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Which is why I played it. I'd actually been wanting to play this for a while. Uh, I've known about it for quite a while and really wanted to play it. So I was like, all right, it's on Game Pass. This
Yeah.
is the perfect time. I can kill a few minutes in here. Pun not intended. And I was really curious what the plot was outside of just finding a cursed sword and dying 60 seconds later every time.
Yeah.
But so Minute, you play as a Tamagotchi. You find a cursed sword, and you have a 60-second journey to go on from
That sounds
there.
great.
Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy, right?
Yeah, this is also one of those games that I've seen a bunch in the Game Pass list, and I've never actually taken the time to check it out.
It could be it could be a really short game if you make it short, or
Hmm.
it could be as long as maybe a couple of hours.
Interesting.
Uh, so what it is, you find the cursed sword. You have the countdown timer happening. You have objectives to complete around the map, so you can progress uh, in such ways like it's like, okay, you found some money. All right, great. When you die and come back to life, it's like time loops back or something, but you still have the money.
Yeah.
And then you go to the store, you can buy boots or something, and you get to maintain those. Or if you're doing something like helping someone out by finding all these things, those things stay found. So it's not. I mean, it treats it like time's looping, but not looping at the same time. It's really weird. I
Hmm.
guess that's why it's a cursed sword. Everything makes no sense.
That's exactly what happens when you pick up a cursed sword.
Well, I mean, the solution is don't pick up cursed swords.
I mean, yeah, that's probably good advice for life in general. Don't pick up cursed swords.
So, so outside of using the sword, you can find like a watering can or a camera, a bone, and the bone acts the same as the sword. Honestly, no difference there. But like the
Yeah.
watering can, you can go and water stuff, put out fires, so that's handy. The camera, it actually uploads pictures to. It tells you a website that it uploads pictures to,
Hmm.
so that's interesting. If you're playing this on console, you don't get the camera; you get the press pass, and the camera doubles as the press pass for a certain scenario in there. But I guess if anything, I could say this game is like super comparable to Zelda on Game Boy.
Interesting.
So you're constantly finding items. You're not switching them out, so you're only using one item at a time, that item you do have to switch out for very specific other items to use for various functions. You'll find hearts, so that way you can get more life. Uh, if you're concerned about progressing across the area you're in, and the timer's coming up short, if you're near a safe haven like a house that you can sleep in, that becomes your new spawn point.
Hmm.
So that's another way to progress further in the game. And there's even some teleports you come across eventually, so that way you can just teleport between all the areas at some point or another. Uh, there's a there's actually a lot of cool little things in this game, and the actual final boss on there was an interesting puzzle because you have 60 seconds to fight someone else who has a cursed sword issue, and there can be only one.
So it becomes Highlander.
Yeah,
Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to
but
check
I
this
mean,
game out.
in your case, you're trying to end the curse, and they've embraced the curse.
Ah, okay. So is it possible to end the curse without dying?
No, but
I guess that
I
might
want
be
to
a
say
spoiler.
I think the minimum number of deaths in like 100% run is like 25.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
and
you have to
and
die
that might
a
be
lot.
achievement related even. I don't really know, but I think I had probably about 200 deaths on there at some before.
Good grief.
I don't know it. I know it was over 100 before the boss. I don't know what it was after the 100% completion stuff though.
So you saying the boss killed you like 100
No,
times?
no, no. I beat the boss and then went back to get all the rest of the stuff done.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it probably put me over the 200 mark. I don't know. So
Oh, that's a lot of death.
it is. But fun little game. If you have Game Pass, check it out. If you have been curious about playing it, um, should be on pretty much everything right now. I would
I'm
assume.
pretty sure I've seen it on Switch.
It's about a $10 game on Steam. Let's see what it. I'm actually on the website that it's. Okay, it's on PlayStation, Xbox, Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS, and Switch, and Linux. Yeah, and
Yeah, this is
that's Minute, MINIT.
yeah. This is definitely one now that I've heard from someone who's played it that it sounds like a really interesting game, so I'm gonna have to check it out because it's been one that I've seen scrolling through a whole bunch, but I've never actually taken the time to really see what the game was all about.
Yeah, it's worth a look, and if you have Game Pass, um, I,
Really?
yes, really, if you have Game Pass, uh, it's a small file. Give it a look at if you're curious, because I mean, if you have Game Pass, you're not losing anything by downloading it.
That's true. I mean, unless you have, really limited bandwidth.
Yeah, if you have my old internet, if you have my old internet, get rid of it now.
Yeah.
It's worse than the cursed sword.
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
So yeah, Minute. That's what I played.
Okay.
Unless you really want me to talk about the summer solstice stuff in Destiny 2,
I mean, is there anything?
or that I went back into Final Fantasy 14 today.
Did you?
Yeah,
See, I would really like to, especially now because they've got so much content that's
I
part of a
know.
free
That's
trial.
amazing. I don't know why they limit you on the party stuff on there, because that's where part of the draw is.
That's the whole thing about that is I don't want to play that because I don't
Unless,
want to
unless
play
it's where you
myself.
can't make a party, but you can join a party, that'd be
I think
different.
you can join a party from someone who actually owns the
Okay,
game.
okay.
So,
Let's test that out
like,
sometime.
um, well, all right. Well, let's take a quick break here. We will come back and then we will talk. We were gonna show. Well, yeah, whatever. We'll do Gamescom.
Well said.
Yeah, that was the best transition I have ever done. So I got Assassin's Creed, Lord of the Rings, Watch Dogs, Crash, Star Wars, then Ratchet.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Assassin's Creed.
Assassins doesn't even get an A on the start of it anymore.
Assassin's Creed.
I'm gonna.
That's
I'm. It's just a whole creed about sassing people.
well, we call it Assassin's Creed around here because one of my kids called it that one time because they didn't say the A at the beginning of it. So we just call it Assassin's Creed.
I want to see this now, just as a spin-off joke series.
fashion. It's like the emoji version of it's all done in like
You got the person in the white assassin outfit, and then they just start sassing you.
it's the chibi version, and they're just yeah.
There's no violence because it's a cartoon for
Yeah,
kids. E for everyone. There we go.
I'd play that. So, all right. So, yeah, here we go. I'll do it.
I'm putting this on the show, by the way, because
Okay.
this is too good to leave out.
So now we're gonna go ahead. We picked I think 6 trailers from Gamescom that we wanted to watch. Most of them I think are what I wanted to watch, and then you threw a couple in there that you wanted to watch.
Yeah, it was a good compromise.
So we're gonna go through these trailers just one after the other. I think neither of us have seen any of these, so these are all gonna be live, reactions to what is happening on the screen. So we're gonna start here with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So it says gameplay. So
this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla Mythical Beasts gameplay.
So this is the Good Mythical Morning version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, starring Rhett and Link.
They finally made it to PG.
They did it. They did it. So, all right, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is a game I'm super interested in. I just picked up Origins not that long ago. I need to play through that now. So yeah, here we go. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. I want to see Techno Viking in this game. Have you seen Techno Viking?
I have not.
It's just a dude in like Germany or someplace dancing down the street to techno music. But that's what some of these guys remind me of.
I didn't know this guy would be talking in the video.
I didn't either, but we're not worried about what he says. We're just looking at the gameplay.
I mean, I did up the.
I'm really curious.
Just a wee bit.
Assassin's Creed has always, except for the, last couple, have always been, big cities, and it's really interesting to see how the game has changed from the early games in the series.
Yeah, I really like the early games, how they were like set within a type of reality, and then seems like with the last couple of them, it's like, all right, we're gonna start putting mythical beast in
They've
here.
added a lot of mythological stuff into it. Yeah,
it's definitely not the same game that I.
They're becoming more just action games that happen to say Assassin's Creed on the box.
Yeah, I really miss Desmond's story.
I do too. I really wish they hadn't gotten away from the modern day stuff.
I know it's like I get that his story was technically over when they killed him off. Spoiler.
Yeah.
But then they released another game, and you had another person who has a connection to him somehow from a game that because they're like using his brain or something.
Yeah. So for a long time I thought it was just going to end up, where even if Assassin's Creed just turned into Watch Dogs, that you got that modern day Assassin's Creed game, and it's disappointing that it didn't end that way.
Yeah, I mean, Watch Dogs had very, very good potential to be that, but I'm also happy that Watch Dogs is what it is today versus what Assassin's Creed has kind of dwindled down to.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we have Watch Dogs 2. We should probably play it at some point.
Oh, yeah, should.
Like, I like these 2 most recent Assassin's Creed games. I've played a little bit of Origins. I put probably 2 hours into it. Not Origins, sorry, Odyssey.
Is that the one that was free a little while ago?
Origins was free. Odyssey has not been.
Okay. I need to figure out which ones I haven't played after. I think Black Flag was the last one I played.
Oh, you're missing quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
I stopped around the time they had one for PS3 and one for PS4.
Drinking minigame. You can't have a Viking thing without a drinking minigame.
That drinking minigame looked a little on the rough side, by the way.
Well, it does say in the bottom corner, work in progress. So
Yeah,
you got to
I
give them.
get that.
Yeah. Uh,
They have a lot of tightening up to do on some things.
you got to tighten up those graphics on level 3. Oh
Oh,
gosh,
oh
that
my,
spear is going
my
through that man's
goodness.
body.
They really do need to tighten up the graphics.
So no, I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey not too long ago because it was on sale for $30, I think. But
Oh yeah,
it
you
was
got like that really awesome edition,
it
right?
was the super ultimate one. It's like normally
Yeah,
$120 and it was
yeah.
on sale for 30, and it came with Assassin's Creed 3 remastered and Assassin's Creed whatever the Louisiana one is, which I cannot remember off the top of my head. Liberation.
Yeah,
Liberation. That's what it is.
you play as Libby.
Yeah. Libby the Cajun.
Is that is her name actually Libby?
No, it's
I, I I was like, I don't think it is, but if it is, that's really awesome.
it's Aveline. Oh, oh, that's messed up. That
That's
reminds me, I've been watching Grimm. My wife and I have been watching through Grimm recently, and he used a hidden blade in one thing. I was like, yes, we're gonna get Assassin's Creed Brothers Grimm edition. I like that Assassin's Creed logo too. The
the double
double axe.
axe.
We don't want to watch the greedy mess Marvel game thing.
Mine was showing Ratchet and Clank.
Mine went to just some random person's video about the new Marvel game, which looks a bit of a mess.
I still want to play it.
So, all right, so that was Assassin's Creed. That looks really cool. I am very excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I might get my wife to watch me play through that one because she's really big into like Celtic mythology and stuff. So maybe I can get her to watch me play through that one. So, but now we're gonna move on to another game that I'm a big fan of the source material, and that is Lord of the Rings Gollum. I knew this game was coming. I've not seen a single thing from it
Other
at
than
all.
a creepy picture or thumbnail of Gollum on the
Yeah,
video.
Gollum looks a little weird. Whenever I think of Gollum, I always immediately picture the Peter Jackson version of Gollum in my head. That is what Gollum should look like, and he doesn't look like that in this. So I gotta get that out of my head because he's probably also going to be in the Amazon show, and that he's not going to look right in that either. So um, Peter Jackson's version of the Lord of the Rings is what I think of when I think of Lord of the Rings now. So. But let's watch this trailer for Lord of the Rings Gollum. It's a little over 2 minutes long. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Daedalic Entertainment. What? I know that name. I don't know anything that they do.
Yeah, I recognized it for a second too.
It's the
I'm
Souls
glad
game.
I turned this down. This one's a little
Oh, that's
loud.
really loud. Yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm
Hi.
Haberstro from Daedalic Entertainment, and I'm currently working on the Lord of the Rings Golem as a project.
These are all golems. Oh, that looks like Shelob.
Why does it get
Right
loud
now,
and
we are
quiet?
working on the Lord of the Rings Golem,
Oh, it's his
an
spider
adventure with a big focus on
friends.
storytelling. We are aiming for an all-round experience where
Okay, so this is like a
you
younger version of him.
Yeah.
the ultimate Golem game. Sticking to the
He's
But you can
you can tell by the hair he has.
Yeah. Well, you can see that they've pulled a lot of inspiration from the Peter Jackson version of Gollum, but of course they have to make him different.
This is an artist rendition of what that version is.
on subtle tactical stealth, some environmental puzzles, climbing challenges, and fast-paced parkour
Wait, is this going to be like Assassin's Creed Lord of the Rings?
You know what? I'm good with that.
weigh their options for every encounter. Dialogues play a very important role as well. Here you can see
You gotta level up your dialogue tree.
mini games where you have to decide for either Golem or Smeagol. In this case,
That's cool.
the green options are the Smeagol options, and the red ones are the Golem options. And
So your Paragon and Rogue options got Paragon
Yeah.
and Renegade. Sorry.
press a button multiple times in order to manifest your option.
She's explaining something in too many words that's really easy to understand already.
And it also can happen that sometimes the player has another outcome than expected, but this is also depending on choices the player made. Whether the player is more on Golem's or Smeagol's side, some options will be easier
Like, I don't know which one I would choose because I like both Smeagol and Gollum.
It's gonna be multiple playthroughs for you.
It's gonna have to be.
Whoa, factories.
Yeah, they had those in the movies. They were like just rudimentary orc manufacturing factories.
Wasn't there a thing where like they're looking at something and you see like power lines appear and people were complaining about that?
Uh, there was probably like it was one of those things where they didn't notice it on the.
No, it was like they put it there intentionally. I think is what it was.
See, I don't remember seeing anything like that.
I wish they had more to show for that video.
Yeah, I do too. It would be nice to see a little bit more actual gameplay. I don't know how far off that game actually is, though. So, so yeah, now let's move on to Watch Dogs Legion. This is a series that I should be more interested in, but I've only played the first game and I never really touched the second one, even though I own it.
I enjoyed the second one more than the first one. But this one has me kind of on the fence of whether I should like it or not because it seems to be going too far out there in the weird stuff now.
Really?
Yeah.
So
like I'm still gonna get it, but I'm not gonna go like all in on it. Right. Like it's gonna have to draw me in better than the other ones.
Well, let's see what this trailer has in store for us. So 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that started off with a loud noise too.
Yep. Okay, driving looks a little better, which they got the driving done really well in 2.
Did they?
Yes.
Ooh, electronic spiders and drones. Dude with a box on his head.
Well, you had the little drone car and the actual flying drone in 2. And you could hack stuff with them, so that was nice. But the big industrial ones, those look awesome. Whoa.
Dude, she just shocked his head.
She defibbed his head.
So this is Sherry Lewis, who's a beekeeper. This is a really fun character to play. She can shoot a bee swarm.
I saw a thing on Twitter earlier today. It was about some town in Japan that's overrun with monkeys, and so 3 old ladies with like AR-15s are defending the town from the monkeys. And someone responded, "That's going to be my Watch Dogs crew." And I want to see someone play through the entire Watch Dogs game as a group of old grannies.
You know someone's going to do it.
What?
How dare they?
Does she have like a holographic?
It's like her bee tracking visor thing. She just didn't turn it off for the conversation. She controls electronic bees, so she's like a super awesome asset in this game. Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard for me to drive in this game since everything's gonna be English.
Yeah, you're on the wrong side of the road.
He just parks in the wrong side of traffic. That's great. And then we steal the moped.
He don't care.
We're gonna do a little scouting here. So classic Watch Dogs gameplay using cameras to scout the location. And we found the person who we need to do the download from. Now, of course, you could have stealthed in here, come in guns blazing.
You can tell they're bad because they have a vest.
They're not even military. They're like hired security that took over the town or city.
So, obviously hacking is core to the Watch Dogs brand, and this is a good example of being sneaky and clever and actually getting what you need without ever letting them know you were there.
Sending it now. I found where our friend's research is being stored.
It's in a box.
So now we know where the files are stored, and we need to come do something about it.
I wonder what that is on the bottom right. The RB with the watch.
One of the locations where Albion was taken over from the police. The Metro Police has been pushed out.
Maybe they'll hit that at some
probably
point.
like some gadget ability, maybe.
That's who you'll see here.
It's probably like, haven't you been using your phone in other games? You may just pull up like a watch this time. And...
Okay, she's got. It's an ability. That's what it is.
Okay. Don't mind me. I'm just sneaking around.
I know, like the
Cool.
secret agent guys, they have like an invisibility thing.
This is one of
And
the
I'm
things
thinking
that
that's what hers
if you don't
does.
escalate to gun combat, the enemies, won't escalate either. You can try to control these situations
Or
one
hers
way
might be
and
something
win the
else.
encounter without ever having to go completely hot.
Oh, I thought that was Gollum in the background.
And you can also see the AR crowd
He's in every game now.
one of the things you can buy in our upgrades.
She's
Wait, why
turning.
did she just erase those people?
She's making them invisible to cameras, so instead of having to hide a body, you just leave them where they're at. But you can only do it so many times.
Now we're taking care of those files.
I think they're definitely hidden.
Make our way out though. Of course, you could have played this any number of ways. You could have stealthed in. You could have come in guns blazing. You could have used remote control gadgets. You could have used drones to fly in. You could have done this download from a drone. The freedom of approach.
Watch out for that guy. Oh, he's totally gonna see you.
And you can actually do this download without ever entering your location.
Dude, the way Metal Gear does, you just lean against the wall, tap it. They're like, "What's that?" And they start sneaking around. You just go around the other way.
Pretty soon we're gonna have a fun beekeeper to play with and shoot swarms of bees at people. This is
I
actually
want to shoot bees at people.
now we've already made some improvements where there's a lot more fanfare whenever you get
Well, speaking of Metal Gear,
final version of the game.
it's a boss in Metal Gear Solid 3.
And Watch Dogs Legion. You can grab the game on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, and Stadia.
See, I'm not a fan of the neon riding on mask and the stupid pig face thing.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
All right. Now we're gonna move into a game with a little bit more color in it.
A little bit more, you say.
A little bit more. So here we go. We are now moving on to Crash Bandicoot 4, which is another game I'm actually really excited to see what Crash Bandicoot 4 is going to be like.
Should be a really good game.
I'm hoping so. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. World premiere. Hi, I'm Jeff Keighley.
I like how they make him look fuzzy instead of just his color palette thing, on the drawing.
What is Crash doing?
He's wearing a mask. And social distancing. What do you think he's doing?
I thought he was going to jump off
Nice.
the bridge. How can the person in that actually see?
I'm gonna guess they don't.
That must be just like see-through material, like on.
They probably don't have like part of the mouth installed anymore, so he can see through that.
Crash, you're about to die. That robot's gonna. Oh,
It's the Gamescom robot.
I thought that robot was gonna murder him.
Toys for Bob.
This is not a Skylanders game.
A brand new style level.
Well, see, after you finish the level, you'll go back and you'll flash back to the same level.
Oh. Oh, I see the nitro bombs there, and you had to do the slide. That's those are
Those are going to be the
those are
I'm going to
deadly.
pull my hair out level.
The gameplay looks pretty good too, and like a solid 60 frames a second.
I want that statue behind him.
Oh my gosh. See, I didn't know for the longest time the nitro boxes were deadly.
Really?
Well, I never played Crash Bandicoot.
No. Well, yeah. Ooh.
Person's
Those,
MLG Pro, man.
man, those levels are gonna be like crazy fun, but also you're gonna want to tear your hair out.
Joke's on you, I'm already bald.
Thanks for showing us that level.
Definitely not the video I was expecting, but I'll
No,
take
I
it.
was expecting more gameplay than just in the background.
Well, it does say presentation, so that's fine.
So now it's time for the second game that makes me really wish I had a flight stick that worked for flying games, because Star Wars Squadrons is up now, and uh that's one of those games that I think would play really nicely if you had a proper flight setup.
Should,
So
yeah.
I remember the opening, the first time they showed this off a few weeks ago. It looked really good. Like, I'm a huge fan of those old X-wing and Tie Fighter games from the '90s on PC. So, and then of course the Rogue Squadron games on the GameCube. I think I have every one of those over in my game folder right now. So I love a good flying game, whether it's combat flying or flying around the middle of nowhere flying. So here we go. Star Wars Squadrons in 3, 2, 1, go.
We all choose our path.
Hello, Leia.
Dark. Freedom or destruction.
Using that orange
Boom.
screen.
Empire chose to destroy Alderaan in order
Alderaan is dead.
and douse the fires of the
Now it's time for the trench run.
You know, everyone complains about Alderaan. Maybe they had it coming to them. We don't know.
to show the Empire
Hey man, Bail Organa did not have, Death Star death coming.
Palpatine's reign and brought about our new
Palpatine's
but,
dead.
I
No,
mean-
he's
I mean-
back.
The Empire lives on.
I mean, maybe the planet itself was just a real jerk to some other planets.
Imperial
I mean, I suppose that's possible.
the Bormia sector, hoping to end on the Republic before
Maybe it said the space station couldn't be a moon, and they're like, nuh-uh.
they tried to
Oh yes, I can.
but the galaxy is changing.
You're gonna die, dude.
Be a part of it.
Oh, you got help.
Brave and daring pilots
It's like, nah, I know where an open vent is on this thing. I'll be fine.
fly with the new Republic. Change our
I do like that you get to play both sides in this.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Hanka, narrative producer on Star Wars Squadrons. Our single-player story is one of daring pilots and deep-seated rivalries.
Take Titan Squadron. Hunt down this Starhawk and eliminate it.
Gladly, Admiral Slane.
Over the course of the story, you'll fly as two pilots on opposite sides of the war. And, like all modes of
Man,
Star
this
Wars
looks so good.
Squadrons, you'll have the option to experience every mission fully
I need a
immersed
VR
in
setup.
Man, it's like you're actually looking at people.
Today,
This looks
we'll take
crazy
a look
good.
at an early Imperial mission behind enemy lines.
One of our spies, Agent Thorne, has discovered vital intelligence on Project Starhawk.
Really?
The mission is to extract her from an orbital outpost above Hosnian Prime. Behind enemy lines, you'll have to eliminate perimeter defenses.
Nice.
When you secure
Gosh.
the area, you will escort the Gladius to the outpost.
You can easily get motion sickness from it now.
Acquire Agent Thorne. Once Thorne is secure,
Oh yeah, I'd puke my guts out if I was playing this in VR, but I would love it.
I had trouble playing Eve Valkyrie in VR, but I was really good at it.
Yeah?
Yeah. You just feel yourself heating up, and it's like, okay, I gotta stop playing. You take the headset off, and you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Because everything's just sitting still.
God, man, this game looks so good. God.
Each mission will immerse you into the escalating conflict
Ooh.
between the New Republic and a shattered empire. Debrief with your squad mates between missions.
You're our new inmate.
Customize and master all 8 starfighters and join the galaxy's finest.
I need you focused and ready to go.
Is that Hera?
They all look the same to me. I can't tell you.
Setting a trap in the Xavian abyss.
Like this, if this takes place after the original trilogy, then that could be Hera Syndulla. I don't know if that was or not.
October 2nd.
Man, that game looks so good.
It's definitely got the Star Wars music.
Mm-hmm. Like, those were some incredibly detailed cockpits. I want to play that game so bad. I'm gonna have to get EA access and just play the heck out of that thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch more of that. I really now wish I had a VR setup because playing that game in VR would be fantastic. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go steal somebody's VR headset. Shannon's not home right now.
He might not be using that headset much longer.
No,
Well, I mean, Facebook.
that's true. That's true. So, well, that's a completely different story. We're not going to talk about Facebook right now. So then we're going to end here now with
A 7.5-minute video.
7.5 minute gameplay video of Ratchet and Clank. This is another game that I didn't really care about before the state of play that showed this off, and then after that, I'm really interested in that, especially to see exactly what they're going to be doing with the portals that they showed off. Because from that first look, it was a little difficult to tell exactly how the portals were going to work.
They make a little more sense now after seeing it, but I haven't seen this one, which this one will give us like an even better look at how that works now.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into that here right now in 3, 2, 1, go. I didn't mean to do my Philip DeFranco impression there.
I do know that like the original video stuff, they had him like whipping the portals. I don't know if he was pulling himself through there or pulling the portal through himself.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this sheds a better light on that. But this is like all uncut game footage right here.
Portals. He's very shiny.
It really is.
Well, they made a point of showing off and talking about the ray tracing on his body.
Yeah. So it's like a real-time reflection now too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. Nice.
Shatter bomb.
He's picking up all those donuts.
Man, I want donuts now. Those would probably not be very tasty donuts.
Yeah, I don't know. They're alien donuts. I forget which Ratchet and Clank games I've played. I know I didn't play the first one. I really need to go back and like just play that through the whole series.
I do too. I've never actually played a Ratchet and Clank game.
I don't know if it was like the third or fourth one I may have played.
This just makes
And then
me
there
want
was
Knack.
the very first one, PS3. I played that one too. Back when you would get a PS3 game and they said you had to install an update to play this, and the update is actually on the disc.
Yeah. This just really makes me wonder what Knack 3 could look like on PS5.
With ray tracing.
Haha, I've got a gun too.
And that's how we broke reality.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, that's where the portals come in. You done messed up, Ratchet.
So that was his gun to break reality, and Ratchet just broke the reality stone.
Yep.
Is that a device or is it his arm?
He's pulling the portals towards him.
Yeah. Okay, so the orange ones are quick areas, so the purple ones are like massive loading zone things. Oh, you can interrupt conversations. That's neat.
I think this entire series is on PlayStation Now.
I know the remake of the first game was put on, I think it was PS Plus. So I have access to that one, but yeah. What we really need is a remake of not Ratchet, Jack and Daxter, and then a new game in that series.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Oh no, Cthulhu is attacking.
I was gonna say a blooper. Sony was the first one to get Mario onto their system.
This right here is a loading screen.
Oh
a very
yeah.
short loading screen with the PS5 stuff, but still a loading screen.
Nefarious is on the other side of that building. Let's get moving before he does anything else to break reality.
Choo!
Don't let him down.
You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
I'm surprised the level up.
It's got some RPG elements.
Oh, that's right, your weapons stuff. Okay. But they get better over time. The freeze rays a water sprinkler grenade thing. That's great.
Oh, he snuck behind. That was cool.
I can see this getting a little disorienting in some cases.
It probably makes more sense when you're actually the one holding the controller.
Yeah, kind of like the mental mapping of areas and stuff versus watching someone else play and you're like, where are they?
Yeah. There's so much junk on the screen.
The game didn't drop any frames. Hey, rail grind. Take that, Sonic Adventure 2.
Haven't they had railgrind stuff like that in Ratchet and Clank before?
I think so. You just need Ratchet to have a pair of soaps on. So this is Fifth Element.
Yeah. Lilu
Or
Dallas.
Judge Dredd, one of those. I'm not sure.
That looked very Fifth Element.
We're playing Sea of Thieves.
Dude, I want a portal gun in Sea of Thieves.
Clank, no.
When does the
Cutscene.
girl Lombax come into play?
Should be right now. Because I think they said she's more stuff on this one.
Who dat?
Or maybe not.
They did just like they did in the original trailer, and just right at the very end she comes in.
In the
Yeah.
original one, didn't she come in and say Clank? This time she's like, who?
Maybe, I don't remember.
Okay.
I want
This,
to know more about who she is.
I think the internet does as well.
So, All right. Well, there you go. Those are the trailers from the Gamescom event that we wanted to kind of go through and watch and give some reactions to in real time. So, some good stuff there. I think all of those are games that I would like to play at some point.
I want to play
Oh,
at least one of these games.
hopefully we'll get some news from Nintendo about what they're doing on the Switch. There's a lot of rumors swirling around, and I'm not going to believe a single one of them until we actually hear something from Nintendo. So, I'm about halfway through Paper Mario now, so I need to know what I'm going to be playing on the Switch once I'm done with Paper Mario.
And if you're playing the Paper Mario, the Origami King, and not you, Tony, that's what you're playing. We know. If you, the listener, are playing that, and you haven't used any of the fire flowers, ice flowers, the other items in the game in battle, try that out. You can be in for maybe a interesting little surprise, like with Mario's palette color changes and stuff.
Yeah. So, I completely forgot there was a Nintendo Direct this week, and it just completely slipped my mind. It was a Direct. If you really liked rhythm games, you were going to like the first bit of it because they showed off three different rhythm games. One was the Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy style rhythm game. Another one was the DJ.
Kingdom Hearts Theat Rhythm.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. Then they showed off a DJ, the drop mix style game is what it looked like.
Is that Technotune or something? No, I
No.
didn't watch it, so I don't know.
I don't remember what it was called. And then what was the third one? I don't remember. A little later in the thing, they showed Just Dance, but there were 3 different rhythm games to start off the Direct, and then they showed off some other third-party games. We still haven't heard anything from Nintendo about what they have going for the rest of the year. So it's going to be really interesting to see. We know kind of what Microsoft is doing, which really isn't much either, with Halo being delayed until next year at the earliest. Sony's the only one that really seems to be showing off a ton of games that are going to be out before the end of the year.
It's going to be interesting console releases this year.
It's going to be a really interesting console release because it looks like Sony's going to come with the exclusives, and Microsoft is banking on people using an expanded library from all of the past consoles. So
and just raw power, I guess you could say.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see how that works for them.
So I imagine we'll probably get some more announcements in the next few weeks. I think September is still a pretty good month for some new announcements. So hopefully we'll see in the next 3 or 4 weeks quite a bit of stuff that we'll be playing in the next 6 months or so. But I guess then, though, that will be the show for this week, Ethan. So thank you very much for being here.
Have a great week, everyone.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.